Alhamdulillah, Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen, wassalatu wassalamu ala ashraf al-anbiya'i sayyidul mursaleen, nabiyyina sayyidina wa maulana Muhammad wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'een. Wa ba'd. قال الله بارك الله تعالى في القرآن المجيد والفرقان الحميد. فأعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. إن الدين عند الله الإسلام. صدق الله العلي العظيم. كان النبي صلى الله تعالى عليه وسلم أحاديث مبارك قال عن أبي سيد القدري قال قال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم الأرض كلها مسجدا المقبرة والحمامة. बारगाह रिसालत में बुलंद आवाज से दुरूद पाक का हदिया पेश करें. अल्लाहुम्मा सल्लि अला सय्यिदिना व मौलाना मुहम्मदन व अला आलिका. Recite durood and salawat upon the Messenger of Allah, the noble companions, the Ahl Bayt, and Rasulullah salatu wasalam, the honorable and modest wives. Allahumma salli ala sayyidina wa maulana Muhammadan wa ala alika wa ashabika wa azwajika wa ulamai ummatika wa shuhadai ummatika wa awliyai millatika ya Rasulullah ya Habib Allah. Inna alhamdulillah nahmadahu ونستعينه ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا. من يهدي الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل له فلا هادي له. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وسيدنا وحبيبنا وشفينا وطبيب قلوبنا وغوثنا ومعيننا وكتبنا وفريدنا ونظامنا ورزوينا وأشرفنا محمدا عبده ورسوله. All praises are due to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We seek His aid and we seek His forgiveness. We seek His assistance and from the evil from our actions and the evil from our souls. Whoever Allah leads, no one can mislead him. And whoever Allah misleads, no one can guide him. I bear witness that there is no deity to be worshipped except Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam is the messenger of Allah. Dear respected brothers who are gathered here today, I greet you with the greetings of peace of Salamualaykum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Dear respected brothers and sisters who are watching from the comfort of their homes, I greet them with the greetings of peace of Salamualaykum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. In life, when we make mistakes, is upon decision. What decision you made. When you ponder upon that, is upon your decision-making skills. For example, you want to elect a prime minister, all of us should be criticized because we elected the prime minister. It is not the prime minister's fault or the president's fault. It is the electors' fault. Not the elected, the electors, meaning us, who voted for someone. Just as if you give this privilege to a child would select someone that gives him more chocolate. He elects him. But it's not the person's fault, it's the children's fault. But what do they know? For example, in religion, some people following the sun, following the moon, following the stars. But it is based upon their opinion. They're following what they think that is right based upon their decision. The Ganga was to drink, but now they cremate bodies in Ganga, and then they splash the water for the sun to come down. Now the jahalat, the ignorance, The Ganga water was to drink. But what did they start doing? They started sprinkling waters to the sun to come down. Ignorance. This is not the moon's fault. It's not the stars' fault. It's not the sun's fault. It's not the idols that they made. It's not their fault. It is the decision making upon them. But Mubarak to you, brothers. In the Quran, Surah Al-Imran, verse number 19, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, there is no religion in the sight of Allah that is greater than Islam, and you brothers have been inducted into Islam. Without having any decision, without having any decision making to where you're going to follow a mazhab, Allah created you as a Muslim. Look at that decision making of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. For that you should give gratitude and give thanks to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that He made you a Muslim. Without using your own brain. If you had used your own brain, perhaps we would have been just like those, sprinkling water in the sky, thinking something else. But how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, Islam is the great religion in the sight of Allah. And you brothers should give Mubarak, congratulations every day, and give gratitude and thanks that you are made a Muslim. And then, out of all of the kitabs, the Quran, afzal the most. Out of the ummah, it is Nabi Salatu Wasalam's ummah, the greatest of the most. And out of the prophets, Nabi Salatu Wasalam, the greatest of the prophet of the most. Rasulullah Salatu Wasalam's maqam, Musa alayhi salam, going to the Tur. But the condition of going to the Tur is a set spot. Right? Have your attention here. Musa, you want to talk to me? You're Kalim Allah. Bani Israel, bothering you? You need nasiyat? Come to the Tur. Come to the mountain. Come talk to me. I gave you this privilege. You're Kalim Allah. You have the privilege of speaking to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But the condition is fixed. Where? Onto the mountain. But Nabi Salatu Wasalam's maqam, wherever Rasulullah Salatu Wasalam was, Allah has put His wahi up to Nabi Salatu Wasalam. If Nabi Salatu Wasalam is Mecca, the wahis are in Mecca. If Nabi Salatu Wasalam is in Ghar Sawr with his friend, then wahi will come. If it is in Ghar Hira, wahi will come down. If he's in Medina, if he's in Jang Badr, if he's in Jang Uhud, the wahi will come down. Wherever Nabi Salatu Wasalam wished, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala put His wahi and wanted to speak to Nabi Salatu Wasalam whenever He wanted. And then one more thing, when he's in the hujrah of his modest wives, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala also sent His wahi in the hujjat of Sayyidah Aisha radiallahu ta'ala anha to show that Allah is with Nabi Salatu Wasalam always. This is the maqam of Nabi Salatu Wasalam. But in Islam, my brothers, when the terrorists have attacked Islam, they used their tactics upon them to show the gratitude and to the love and how not to go after these terrorists. We learn from the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. But before this, Hazrat Ibrahim alayhi salam in the kingdom of Namrud, he went by himself, a prophet, to face Namrud. Then what has happened? Hazrat Ibrahim alayhi salam did hijrah to leave the country. We don't want bloodshed in this country. He left. The outcome of Hazrat Ibrahim leaving, the whole world turned Muslim. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, through Hazrat Ibrahim alayhi salam, gave him the ability to make the Kaaba with his son. Where all of us are rejoicing on Eid because of the sunnah of Hazrat Ibrahim alayhi salam. Namrud, no one has known him. No one has knew where he was. Killed himself. Just like Hazrat Musa alayhi salam. In the kingdom of Pharaoh, he went by himself. He fought Pharaoh by himself. Magicians, black magic, etc. Those times, those tactics were used. But then what happened? No bloodshed occurred. Musa alayhi salam went to the Dead Sea. And going to the Dead Sea, that's where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala drowned Pharaoh. But no bloodshed was occurred. Nabi salatu wasalam, as well, in Mecca, before Ilan Nabuwat, they were still respecting him. Then Ilan Nabuwat, they started to disrespect him. But if Nabi salatu wasalam wanted, he could have ordered the angels to kill and assassinate every single one of them if he wanted to. But no, that's not what occurred. What happened? 4 friends, 1 prophet, some few family members left Makkah Sharif and they went to Madinatul Munawwara. They didn't want to face bloodshed. The outcome, when Islam came into Aruj, Nabi Salatu Wasalam came back to Makkah and ordered them with conditions. Now we are powerful with all of the Sahabas. Now we are with the Ansar as well. What is the outcome? Now they went onto their knees, all of the leaders, and they surrendered to Islam without any bloodshed. But then if war occurred, and it did occur, going before Makkah, no woman was killed, no child was killed, no tree was disastered, nothing happened amongst the society. Everyone was taken care of. Even the wives of the enemies were taken care of, and then they were wed to Islam. But the key point, brothers, Islam is that religion that shows us peace, which we don't fight with zulm. When it is on defense, that is the only time where we should respond. And look at how the lifestyle of Nabi Salatu Wasalam and his wisdom, how he has conquered the world. Through what? Through the Quran, through the Sunnah, through the Sharia. But brothers, I have a question for you. When Islam is in the Aruj right now, where statistically Islam is #1 religion in the world, why is that? We can't come together as one and conquer the world. Why can't we face our enemies and come into one? What is the problem amongst our societies? The problem that faces our societies is what? Nationalism. The first thing the British have done, they put nationalism against you. They made you Pakistani. They made you Bangla. They made you Saudia. They made you these names. So what? You have a title. And what happens? They conquer you even more. What we forgot was the Khilafah and how they destroyed the Khilafah. So this is the problems that are arising in our society. Why is it in Canada that the Muslims and our ladies and our girls are afraid to wear their hijab? Why is it that our women now are forgotten the Sunnah? Why is it now our women are embarrassed to go out in the street? It is also because of the teachings of the men inside. The men have not shown Islam in their household. Men have not taught our families what Islam is in our household. Now do you understand why there are suicidal rates in Canada and Muslims are almost in the top 5? Top 5. Drug rate, drug issue, Muslim. Top 5 in the category. Women, abortions, top 5, Muslims. Believe it or not. These are the cases of mental health. Why now that Muslims are surrendering under mental health issues? The only problem now that we are facing, that we forgot Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We forgot the Quran. We forgot Nabi Salatu Wasalam. And now we're paying the price for it. Or else if you wanted to, you would have conquered the world. Just like how the Yehudi are. You would have conquered all of Canada. No one would have touched you. And then you wouldn't be embarrassed to go on the streets and fight for your brothers of Palestine. But no. What has happened? You have been handcuffed by work, by your desires. and you left Islam secondary. And in our home, we have issues. And every one of us have issues. The worst of them, domestic issues. Our women are forgetting to respect their men, to raise their children. Men don't go home because they have no one to go to, or they're scared. They're eating out in the restaurants. Men now are not taking care of their women, and they're not respecting their men. What has happened to the ummah, my brothers? Islam was the number one religion and is and will be forever. They will eliminate you. Believe me. Allah will eliminate you, and then they will make someone else to represent Islam. Because Allah has already said that this is the best religion. And Islam in the sight of Allah is the best religion. But are you following the principles of Islam? My brothers, when you go home today, always remember to respect your wives, to respect your children, and give the dawah properly. Respect your neighbors correctly. To make sure you come out and respect each other on the day of Jummah. We don't have any manners anymore. We're not obedient. We can tell who sat in the sohbah, in the shaykh. We know who have the ones who have the ilm. We know that. Why? Because how we look at you. So my brothers, reading the Quran, reading the seerah of Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam is very important. And the best thing amongst it, amal, acting upon knowledge. Whatever you have heard today, my brothers, go home and gather your children, gather your family members. Don't let them roam around on Halloween. Don't let them roam around on Santa Claus Day. Don't let them roam around on Easter Day. Don't let them roam around on these pagan holidays, New Year's and all of that. Why have we more interest in other people's religion except yours? Mawlidun Nabi came, people didn't even know what Mawlid was. People didn't even know the Prophet. People didn't even know who the Prophet was. I'm talking about Muslims. We're speaking about bid'ah and shirk. Astaghfirullahul azim. This is the worst thing that has ever happened to us, my brothers, when we were divided. Brothers, come into one. Understand Islam and act upon it. My brothers, my young teenagers who are watching, listen to this. Islam, the cure of Islam is the Quran and the seerah of Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. Drugs, marijuana, sharab, it is the worst thing that they gave. Remember, the European gave the sharab and tobacco to who? To the natives first. And the outcome of the natives is what? You can see. No natives around. They are inside, unfortunately, depressed, anxiety, whatever issues they have, hooked on sharab. And the same thing, my brothers, is happening to Muslims now. People have more interest of smoking weed and drinking alcohol. So my parents need to get more involved inside their household by having order and restoring order in their household so we can teach our children one-on-one. If I made any mistakes, please do forgive me. And I will pray for you as you pray for me. Wa akhir dawana alhamdulillahi rabbil alamin. Alhamdulillah, as you know, this اشتاق بي